So you're probably wondering why I'm shirtless, and the answer to that is in this video I'm going to be discussing the integumentary system, also known as the skin.
My name is Carrie. I'm so
Quick, name the biggest organ in the human body. If you guess the small intestine, you're wrong. It's the skin. Surprise! Yeah, that's right. The skin's the biggest organ in your body, and not only that, it also has a really diverse array of functions, including but not limited to protection. It protects your body against various external pathogens that may cause disease. Sensation. Nerve endings all over your skin allow your body to feel and recognize external sensations, not limited to like light, touch, things like that. Heat regulation. If you couldn't sweat, your body's internal temperature would be in a lot of trouble. And finally, well, not finally because it has more, but your skin helps you synthesize vitamin D via sunlight. It's pretty cool. So the next thing you need to know about the skin is that it has 3 layers, or levels, like the song. So like I said earlier, the skin's composed of 3 layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. To better illustrate it, I will now consult my piece of paper of science. Okay, so here's the piece of paper of science. It's actually more of a napkin of science, so here we go. Wow, that did not turn out how I wanted it to. It's upside down. But anyway, you can see that I'm obviously a really artistic person by my drawing, and this is basically what the skin looks like in terms of its proportions. You have the epidermis, which is the most superficial layer of the skin, then going a little bit deeper, you have the dermis, which composes most of the skin, and then the hypodermis, which is the innermost layer. Would you be shocked to learn that the epidermis is largely composed of dead cells? Yeah. Well, too bad. The epidermis is largely composed of dead cells, and it actually has several layers. The first and innermost layer of the epidermis is called the stratum basale. It's composed of keratinocytes, which produce keratin, melanocytes, which produce melanin, and Merkel cells, which aid in touch and sensation. The second layer of the epidermis is called the stratum spinosum, and it's earned that name because it's spiny due to its shrinkage. You can quote Todd on that, not me. And it also has dendritic cells, also known as Langerhans cells. Just FYI, dendritic cells are antigen-presenting cells, which means that they function with immunity. But we'll get to that later. The stratum granulosum is more or less composed of 3 to 5 layers of dead keratinocytes that are flattened out. The stratum lucidum is a thin zone of translucent skin cells, that can only be really seen in thick skin. So these are what most people would commonly call calluses, and the way I think of it, lucid means like clear, so like the area of the skin is kind of clear. Now the most superficial layer of the epidermis is the stratum corneum. It's composed of about 30 layers of dead skin cells that very commonly flake off. The biggest zone of the skin would be the dermis. It's composed of a superficial reticulary layer and a deeper papillary layer. The deepest layer of the skin would be the hypodermis. It's largely composed of adipose tissue, meaning fat, but what it does have is a huge amount of blood vessels, which makes it very vascular, and which generates the term hypovascular injections. Wait, did I say hypovascular? I meant hypodermic, my bad, who am I kidding? Yes, your hair is also part of your integumentary system. Each individual hair is composed of 2 parts. You have the lower root and the shaft, which extends out. Yeah, my hair shafts aren't very long, sorry about that, guys. Yes, your nails are also part of your integumentary system. It's composed of a nail matrix, which creates it all, an eponychium, which is the part that's kind of inside the skin right here, the body, which extends out, and a free edge, which is kind of like the fingernails, which you need to trim. Alright, so in conclusion, basically the integumentary system is anything external that you can see on your body that provides it with protection against foreign pathogens as the first line of defense. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope I'll see you guys soon.